All right, everybody. So today I'm going to share with you what happens when you plant hostas in pretty much full sun. So it is 3:50 in the afternoon right now. At around 2 o'clock, you'll see more shade around here. But like right here, you would see sun already. So around 3 for sure, you're getting this full sun exposure right now. So ideally, you know that hostas like shade, but you might ask, why am I planting hostas here in the full sun? Well, I have a good reason. All right, let me get in the shade and explain this to you. So I had no choice but to transplant these hostas over here because we lost our shade tree in the front of me there. And this Japanese maple is pretty much the only area where I garden in that has some shade at all. I could have put all of these in the woodland area where it gets shade, but the problem with that area is that we have deer pressure. The pathway that I created, that's pretty much the deer's pathway as they're going in and out of our property here. So I know that I couldn't put them there. So I decided to put them in this general area. I was thinking at the time that I wanted to experiment with them in full sun, kind of like full sun. I mean, I can consider that full sun because they get 2 or 3 hours of morning sunlight, which technically you don't consider that like sun exposure. But with a 4 to 5 hours afternoon sun, and this gets direct sunlight, like very, very hot. So even though it's only 4 to 5 hours, I consider that full sun because it's really extreme sun over here like I am experiencing right now. And also I wanted to see, even though you have sun exposure, it would have moist soil because it stays pretty moist around here. Because we do get water runoff, so we have water issues here. So I thought putting these around where we get the water issues and then it gets pretty boggy over here, that it would be a good idea to experiment and to also see if getting full sun but getting moist soil would help them to stay really well over here. All right, so here we are. I transplanted these a while back, so we're not going to count these. But the ones that I transplanted last year, July 9th would be its full 1 year since we lost that tree, which is over there. So these hostas get 4 to 5 hours of direct sunlight and then 2 to 3 hours of morning sunlight. So, and again, it tends to stay pretty moist here. However, this year we have not gotten rain for like at least 3 weeks so far. We've gotten rain in the last few days, so thank goodness for that. So they seem to look a little bit better. So these, I believe, these 3 right here, and I think this one also, I could be wrong, but these 3 for sure were transplanted last July. And I believe I may have one right there. I don't know what happened to it. Maybe it's just these 3 and that one right there. And let's see what is going on with them. So let's see if the ground is still moist. So it is still moist. You can see that they're doing good. So that means they're getting the water that they need, but look at the foliage. It is getting some sun burn, some sunburn. So they're burned, so you know that it's been getting really hot. But most of the leaves are doing fine. Same thing with that one. It is smaller. And look at the crispy leaves. And this one is the smallest, and looks like all the leaves are doing great. They're on the yellow side, which is expected. And the other thing is that anything that you plant in full sun where they prefer shade or part sun, for example, will tend to be a lot smaller. Now, I do not know the varieties of these hostas, so I don't know what their normal size would be, their mature full size. So, but regardless, anything that I'm planting here where they prefer shade, they will tend to be a lot smaller than the shade counterpart. All right, so overall, would I recommend planting hostas in full sun or even part sun? No, I would say no. But if you have no choice but to plant your hostas in more sun exposure than they like, like because you don't have trees, you don't really have any shade at all, I would look for an area that tends to stay boggy, stays wet, and plant them there. At least they would get the moisture that they need. Now, they won't look as big or as clean, meaning the leaves would be all perfect minus the slug bites. Then they should do good. They should, at least they would still be surviving. Especially like early spring, they would look really good because the sunlight would not be as intense. This year has been a little bit different because we really didn't get any spring. It was just summer temperatures in what we call spring months. It would be mostly in the 90s, which I was really shocked. So this spring has been really hot. So I really didn't get to enjoy and see these hostas in more of their full glory as much as it could have been. So yes, that's what I would recommend. If you have no shade, I would pick a boggy spot where it gets good moisture all day and pretty much year round, and just plant your hostas there until you can find shade for them later on. So at least you will get to enjoy them, in the spring. And if they last until, the fall or whatever, until they finally will melt away and say goodbye for the season. So I would say my experiment worked. Hostas can do well in sun exposure and, a lot more sun than it likes if you have moist soil. Now, I know these guys would do so much better in part sun versus in like 4 to 5 hours direct sunlight. And I'm talking about my direct sunlight in my southern environment here. If they were to be, in a place maybe up north where full sun is less intense than full sun here, then I think they should do well with the moist soil that you give them. So going forward, I will still leave these here simply because not only do they get moist soil here, but they help to deter or prevent erosion over here, because when it rains, it goes down this way. And I want these roots, now these are going to get bigger, so the root system will be more extensive, and I am hoping they would absorb the water as much as possible here. So that is my plan. And if I'm going to divide all future hostas, I would like to keep adding them up here. If the Japanese maple roots will allow me, I'll just tuck them here and there, because this area here, they will get more shade versus around here. And I think I might plant some of them like closer to where the dry creek bed is, right there. So that'll help with the water retention here a lot better. So do you plant hostas in more sun exposure like I have them here? If you are, please tell me how yours are doing. It is so hot and humid right now, and I'm so sweaty. So with that, thank you so much for watching this video. I hope you found it enjoyable and helpful. And until my next video, take care and bye for now.
It's me, the Mario. Thank you so much for watching this video. Please make sure to like and subscribe and ring the notification bell so that way you don't miss out on any more content.